Welcome to another episode of InfoFrag, and this week we're going to be talking about Bloodborne.
So this week we are going to be talking about Bloodborne, which is probably, if not my most anticipated game of the year, it's definitely up there. Bloodborne is the next game from Software. It is not technically a Souls game, but there's a lot of things in the game that are obviously very Souls-like. I guess you can call it another spiritual successor, kind of like how Dark Souls was a
Was Dark Souls only for PlayStation as well?
Dark Souls, the first one was
Nope,
no,
I had it on.
It was not. Demon Souls. Demon Souls was a PlayStation exclusive, and then Dark Souls.
Oh, okay, Dark Souls was not. And
Yes.
then okay.
And now Bloodborne is back to being a PlayStation 4 exclusive. It's actually pretty much the main reason I picked up a PlayStation 4. I mean,
Really?
yeah.
Not for us?
No.
Not for it.
So-
I'm pretty sure I had one before both of you anyway.
So Bloodborne takes place in a place called Yarnum, which is kind of like a London type deal.
Made of yarn.
What?
It's made of yarn.
Yeah.
A whole city
It's made of yarn.
made of yarn.
And it is plagued by something mysterious that you don't know. We don't know too much about the lore just yet. It does come out March 24th, 2015. So, what about a couple more weeks or whatever? And we will be playing it, probably reviewing it, if it's any good. Like, I know we said that we
I
were
hope
going
so.
to review
The Order,
and that turned out really bad, so we're not going to do that.
This is different though, because I have 2 copies of Bloodborne pre-ordered.
Wow.
He's gonna be
No, one's for my brother. But but no, without a doubt, I'm picking it up. I think I have the collector's edition paid off already, so I'm pretty sure if I don't get it, I just wasted $80.
Okay, cool. Well, it's very macabre. It's a old Victorian kind of style thing. I know one of the characters kind of looks like looks like a bird, but he looks like the doctors that wore like the long noses with the.
Does he have
the plague
he
doctors.
doesn't have one of those masks.
Yes,
actually.
he does.
Does he really?
Well, there's multiple characters. There's like 3. I think there's
you
3
play
characters.
as?
Well,
You
usually
can. You could change through any of them, and
Really?
the one guy has like this bird feather cape, which is actually really cool,
you
and then he
sure?
has like the long nose. Yes.
Or is it? This
And
isn't
then-
just different costumes for.
Positive.
because usually
So-
the way the Souls game worked is you just made a character and then you had different equipment. It's not like that.
No.
Huh.
Each character, I believe, comes with a specific weapon that you use. I know the bird guy had 2 swords when I was watching a playthrough by Peeve Peeverson on YouTube. You should check out that. It's about an hour and 43 minutes, but it's really good. There's a lot of blood. As the name suggests, there's blood flying everywhere. It's like Ninja Assassin blood. It's very almost theatrical, where you take one slice out of someone and just massive amounts of blood just pours out of them.
I feel like they went.
They're not going for realism.
I feel like they didn't even go for gory. They just it's like even beyond that. It's not like it's like visceral. There's guts spewing everywhere.
No,
This
it's
is
like
you have there's guys off screen with buckets of blood and they're just like.
but it's
Dumping them
like
on.
But it adds
it's obviously
to the,
on purpose. Like
Oh,
it
yeah, no.
adds to the aesthetic
Definitely.
of the whole
Definitely.
feel of the game.
It's really creepy. It looks kind of like an old horror film in the way of haunted houses. I think you know what I'm trying to say when I say that. Almost like a Corpse Bride type of deal.
I kind of get what you're saying.
When
Like,
I said-
it's very gothic-y.
Yes,
with
it's
the
extremely
theme,
gothic.
they did with I said similar to what BioShock did with their theme and their source material, taking the 50s to like when BioShock did 50s, it's super exaggerated, eccentric, extravagant, fully saturated by its source material. Like no one thing didn't scream 50s, and no one thing doesn't say this is gothic or super dark. Like there's coffins around every corner in Bloodborne.
It looks like the bubonic plague times 100. It looks like something really bad.
The buildings
is happening.
caught the bubonic plague.
Yeah, it does. It does look like that.
The city, and I mean, that's kind of cool though. That's like the city itself has the plague or whatever.
Yeah, it does.
like,
It does.
not just
it's
the people.
extremely.
See, in the city, that's the thing. Like somebody who's played a lot of all of the Souls games, the city in Bloodborne it's going to be a big step away from kind of the feel of Souls combat, where like Souls kind of gave you a lot of room to play with. Usually, there were certain areas where they purposely restricted how much room you have, but everything we've seen so far in Bloodborne is like really tight. You know, like
rolling off of a ledge in Dark Souls.
yeah. I don't think you'll probably just roll into walls in this one, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, just
No, with that Peeve Peeverson playthrough, he showed some of the mechanics. It is much faster than Dark Souls. I played Dark Souls 1 for a little bit, never played 2. I don't think Bobby played any.
Nope.
James is a big fan, so we kind of got hasn't played it, big fan, and then like a middle thing. And it is much faster than Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls 1 at least.
no, both of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
both of them.
Actually, all three. I mean, all the Souls games, they were like we talked about in the other episode. Like they're paced in a way where you're meant to dodge and block often and wait for opportunities to attack. Like you have to watch, and basically you're learning patterns, learning moves, learning when is a good time to do things.
Yeah.
When in Bloodborne, they're doing it where you are attacked, either so quickly or by so many enemies that playing defensively isn't smart anymore.
I didn't see any blocking at all in that.
Yeah, no,
There's some parry, and the way they do
yes.
it is with a gun.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because if something's coming at you and they're like almost on top of you about to hit you and you fire your gun, it'll stun them.
Yeah, the guns don't act as like ranged weapons.
Yeah,
they
no.
act as these
More
really
like a
short
block.
range, kind
a
of stun
block,
people
'cause
out
they
of
have-
animations
They
kind of
have
thing.
a blunderbuss in it. Moving on to the guns. The ones that I saw, there's a blunderbuss and a pistol. I don't know if there's any other like parry ranged weapons kind of thing. They have an oversized hammer, which is really stupid. It's so bigger than your guy.
Yeah.
It's bigger than his torso.
It is a
looks-
Japanese studio,
You do-
so you
I
do
know.
see the
You-
Japanese
no, you
influences
see-
in the game.
See,
Yeah.
this is where, like I said, if you'd play Souls, these weapons, there's not a new thing. Like there's always but you have to have. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't even know how the stats really work in Bloodborne, but in Dark Souls and Demon Souls, you had a strength stat, and if your strength stat wasn't like absurdly high, you couldn't
can't
even
get it.
use the big things efficiently. And they all swung really slow and did like really high damage.
Yeah.
But the
well,
thing,
I mean, it makes sense. But when I watched the alpha playthrough by Peeve Peeverson, he, as soon as he spawned with the guy, he had this massive thing
Well,
on his back. I know it could be alpha, so
yeah,
they're just like,
it's not-
just test it out, enjoy it.
yeah,
so like, it's
nobody
not
has
starting.
had access to the full game yet. All the gameplay is just from like test builds that people were given and stuff. But regardless, I think the weapons I think are one of the coolest things about this game is how they're doing almost every weapon has 2 modes.
Yes.
Like it's like how that
modes.
the hammer thing. Yeah, like
It's
the hammer
awesome.
is you could either use it as a 2-handed like big ass hammer or it splits apart and you
do a
could
sword,
use it
like a
as a
dual
sword
thing?
and like one-handed weapons. I saw there was one thing that split into like a sword and a torch. And,
Yeah, that's
know.
like one of the blades that I think the that old like plague doctor was carrying around. There is a folding saw blade, which is kind of what's the
I
word?
think it's
Oh, that's
really cool.
that's
the one on the cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the main weapon that you see
Yeah.
on the cover. It's
it's like a barber's knife.
only huge.
Only
Kinda-
really big.
yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, and then the whole point is the modes, they function differently, where if the blade is folded down where it looks more like an axe, the attacks are quicker but do a lot less damage. And then you could obviously unfold it into the sword where everything hits a lot harder, but your attacks are going to be a lot slower.
There's a whip, which looks really cool.
A whip.
Yeah, it's got like kind of blades all along, like spaced apart, which
I
is
hope
really
it's good
cool.
because the whips in the Souls game were terrible.
There's an axe and there's a cane. That's the only ones that I've seen so far. They do look pretty cool. I have to say the one with the hammer did catch my eye, even though I thought that the size of it was really stupid. When it's on your back, it's like the handle's facing up and it's like a slot. There's like a hole in it where he sticks his sword in and then uses the sword as like the
okay.
bottom handle.
Yeah,
That's
sweet.
which is really cool. It's a really cool mechanic, but the sheer size of it is so
I'm
dumb
a fan,
looking.
like,
So dumb
especially
looking.
in the Souls games, I'm always a fan of getting to that really high strength point and using the huge, absurd
Oh yeah, but like I mean,
weapons.
if you start off with
I know, but
like,
it's
but
just
the bigger weapons
it's
means
a
they're
it's
just
a
more
totally
powerful
it's a
and-
totally different play style where you could kind of go for the strength or you can go for agility, and then
Okay.
they also have all the magic. I don't know if there's I haven't seen anything about
I didn't
magic
see
in this
anything.
game.
I didn't see any magic.
So I don't know if we have any of that, but in the Souls games there were there was different trees of magic
Maybe
you
there's
could go
like a
into as well.
gunslinger tree.
Really?
Maybe I'm just saying.
don't
Like
know.
maybe they have.
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe
Like
that
a perk
takes the
tree.
place of the
Yeah.
magic.
Or like a skill set tree or something like
Maybe.
that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
in the sense of like, okay, you could build into agility and attack or dexterity, and you could attack faster and do
Okay,
more
so
damage with those weapons.
That we were also talking about like leveling up. Is there like a level up thing, or do you acquire equipment?
See,
to
I
make your
haven't
character
seen it.
stronger?
The way
I've only seen 2 menus.
The way that the Souls games worked, and the way that I'd imagine there's going to be a system like this in this game. I haven't seen too much in the gameplay about it either. But you can see, when you I don't know if in the gameplay you saw, but like when you kill stuff, like there'll be things that like fly into you.
There was not.
No.
Nope. Didn't see it.
Neither.
Again, alpha. I watched
Oh.
it in alpha. So you
But
never
they said
know.
it was. I was on the wiki, and is it souls in Dark Souls?
In
that
Dark
you-
Souls, yeah,
that you eat?
it is actually, their souls come
like
out.
Consumables. They said it was like. In this
Oh,
one, it's
you'll-
like cold blood or something that you
Well, there's
get instead of
potions.
souls.
Yeah, you will
like a
find
similar-
you'd find consumables that gave you souls, but you'd also get souls just from killing. And then basically the way it worked is you would acquire a certain amount of souls, and then if you died, those souls would drop on the ground, and you could go find them again. But if you died again, you'd lose them all forever. But you would have to take those to a certain area to level up your stats.
I mean, it's like that
And
with
then
the cold blood. Or
Yeah,
whatever
and then
it
every
is.
time you leveled up a stat, the amount that you needed to level up got higher.
you collect blood.
So a
and
huge
you keep
difference.
it in your bucket.
Huge difference within the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne is there's a health regeneration effect now, and a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of people
yeah.
were like, "Ew, health regeneration! That's going to be so
Actually-
easy and all this other stuff." This works really cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
What it
too.
does, massive damage every time. Even you take one hit, you're taking a lot of damage. But
Well,
the point
that's always
is,
been like that, but
okay. The point is, you need to hit to regain health. So if you take like half your life off one swing and you start hitting the guy, you can regain a lot of the health off of how many hits you get.
You only have a certain amount of time before you
Yeah.
can do that. Before it's kind of
That's-
think of it in like the lines of like a fighting game, like with a tag system.
Yeah,
Like when you switch out a character, they'll have that like red,
yeah.
and then it'll fill up as they're gone. It's kind of like that, where like you'll have the red there, and then if you hit them, it'll go
It'll
up.
keep
But if
going
you
up.
don't,
Don't.
then it just disappears.
Which is
and
how they
you
keep
lost.
pushing the offensive play.
Yeah.
Because they want you to just keep getting in there, but when you keep getting in there, you get dominated. This game looks really punishing.
Dude, that one. Just watching some of the gameplay, especially that the one boss, the cleric beast or whatever it was.
Yes.
That thing looks hard as
Is
hell.
that the one on the bridge?
It looks very
Yeah,
yes.
with
Okay.
the
It looks
big
very
like,
difficult.
arm made of like worm things or whatever
Worm
going on,
things,
and like
yeah.
no, that thing just destroys the hell out of you. I don't know.
That
know.
was actually a point that I had because once you beat that boss, again, I watched
Yeah, this
Alpha,
is
so I
Alpha.
don't know. But once you beat that boss,
Nothing happens.
You really, really, really work for it.
Mm-hmm.
You kick his butt, and you just try and try and try. You're gonna die a lot, but you finally beat him, and nothing. He instantly he dies. He falls to the ground. He vaporizes, and nothing happens. The music just dies out, and that's it. And you're just standing there. You
Yeah.
don't get anything.
You throw your controller,
It is not
and then it's over.
rewarding at all.
No, it is.
It's like you try so hard for nothing.
That's how. But that's the
You don't even get to
essence-
see his corpse like just chilling
Dude,
there.
that's how a Souls game work. You
Eh.
you beat the you
You
try
gotta get something.
you try super hard to kill a boss, then you kill the boss and they're gone, and you keep moving. But you probably do. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't show it.
Yeah.
But in the final build, I'm sure you'll get either because in the Souls games you'd get a large amount of souls to spend, and sometimes most of the time you would get a soul of the boss that was a consumable, or you could use it to make a unique weapon or something. Or you might even get some kind of item depending on if.
I'm sure you get something. That's kind
Yeah,
of
there were certain bosses.
Yeah.
There were certain bosses in the Souls games too, which I thought this was a cool mechanic. Where if you hit them in a certain spot, like a lot of times it was like the bigger enemies' tails and stuff. If you hit them in their tail a lot, you would chop their tail off, and it would
And
give
then
you a
get-
weapon.
Whoa!
Yeah, like a weapon based off that like boss.
I got a big tail I could smack someone
Huh.
with.
It was never. It was never actually
Well, I
their
wonder if they're
tail.
doing that in
but
Bloodborne too.
Yeah, I
like
don't
they
know.
might just
Yeah.
show the basic weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have. Again, alpha, so you never know. With
one-
that boss,
What's no? Go ahead.
with that boss, I'll post a clip of this and I'll silence us out because the sound design and the music is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, it always is. been.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The music is incredible. It puts you in such immersion into this game.
Yeah.
And the thing screaming, the cleric beast screaming is absolutely terrifying.
No.
So when you have this gothic operatic music playing in the background, kind of, yeah, kind of like that. And then this thing, just these high pitched squeals, like
Yeah.
it's terrifying, and it's so good. The immersion is
when it's
great.
hitting its feet against the ground and the ground is shaking.
Yeah,
you,
it's great.
You feel it.
Really
Yeah,
is great.
From Software's always done a really good job with their sound design. Like Dark Souls 1 and 2 have some of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. They're really good. One thing that I think is really cool about this game, I don't know if you guys saw, each playthrough or each character you have, there's a dungeon in the game that is randomly generated.
Like Minecraft.
Like it's procedurally generated in that it's going to be different for every player that goes through. Like everything from the traps to the layout to the things you fight, and it's apparently this multi-tiered dungeon that's like super hard, but it's different for every character, and you can play through it as co-op if you want or by yourself if you want. And the cool thing is what?
Continue.
Okay, the cool thing is everyone gets their own, and you can share them with each other. Like if yours is like super punishing, and you're like, yo, try out my stupid dungeon that I'm dying as soon as I walk in.
Like hop in my game or something like that.
So I don't know exactly how it works. I just know they said that you can like all share each other's dungeons, which gives the Souls games have always had super high replayability, but that gives it even
more.
Where is the dungeon?
I have no idea.
Huh. It's a cool idea though. I like it.
Yeah, I just know that is in the game somewhere.
We were talking about its linearity before the episode, and you said from what me and Eric had seen, it looked extremely linear. Just straight path going up here and going up. But okay, it looks vertical. Like it looks like it has a verticality to it, which might add to it. But
here's what I saw.
You said that you can go back and go to previous.
The way that the Souls games have always worked is, well, Demon Souls was different, but Dark Souls 1 and 2, it was one seamless world. Like it was one map. Okay. There was no loading screens aside from certain transition points, but it was literally just one huge map, and then it would seem linear at first because there were only certain places that would make sense to go or else you'd get destroyed, and you would open up shortcuts as you went on to take you back to previous places really quickly. So it became this point of where you could be on another side of the map, but after playing through, you can get back to wherever you want really quickly because of the way, the level design was really good, and you would open up shortcuts and you'd be able to go back to wherever you want, and you could go.
I think that also that they did, they have the specific places in the city, they have the forest, they have the dungeon, they have, there's a castle or something that I'm sure they all play very differently as well. The forest is probably more open than.
Yeah.
Here's what I saw in the alpha test. It was like, picture, here's your boss, here's where you start. There's this big map, and then there's a path here, there's a path here, there's a path here, and they all kind of intertwine. But that's why I said it was sort of linear. Now I'm thinking
but I mean, it gets you to where it wants you to be.
Yeah, the areas it's linear in the sense that you're gonna start an area and then there's a boss you have to beat in the area, but the area itself is going to be totally open and you don't even have to go there yet. Like you can go back and do whatever you want first. Sometimes there are bosses that you don't. I mean. It was in the case in the Souls games. There were bosses you didn't even have to fight, and sometimes you didn't know existed. Yeah, you would just sometimes stumble across boss fights, and you'd be like, "Oh crap!" There was this one boss.
I'm gonna run.
You just fall through the floor of this one area, and you're just in a boss fight, and you lost half your health from the fall.
Ouch.
So yeah,
man,
that's pretty punishing.
So stuff like that, that's all stuff that I'm expecting to see in this game, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's like you mentioned before with the co-op, and I mentioned before with menus, there was only 2 menus that I saw. The one was kind of your co-op menu-ish kind of thing. You hit the right pad. You hit right on the pad or left on the pad, and they'll bring up the 2 menus. You bring up the one, it's co-op, and you can ring a bell, and what will happen is it will bring you to someone else's game.
Mm-hmm.
You can like go over on the menu, ring a different bell, and it'll bring someone into your game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something else. There's one where you can like leave a game, and then there's something I'm not sure. Peeve Peeverson, he couldn't get it working, unfortunately, so I didn't get to see
I
it.
imagine the multiplayer doesn't really work yet.
Yeah,
because the game's
there wasn't
not
anyone
out.
online.
The other menu, I did not understand the point of it. There were gestures.
Oh, gestures are just...
I didn't get it.
In-game,
It's gestures
maybe.
are all right. The thing about the Souls games is their multiplayer was always done in I think one of the coolest ways that games have done multiplayer. Where because the bells, that's literally just the soapstones from Dark Souls, where you had a stone where once again you could call people into your game to help you out. You could go into other people's games to help them out. I haven't seen anything yet in Bloodborne about invading, but I'm assuming it's there. Something
hope
about no, it's great.
No.
Invading,
I'm bad at these games already.
Dying Light style invading?
Yeah. Like, invading and being invaded is one of the most intense things about Dark Souls. Like, you'll just be...
Do you come in as a boss or something?
No, you just come in as your character.
And
you just...
like,
fight
an enemy
PvP.
version of your character.
There is
Okay.
PvP.
And then
They said that there is.
and then you basically hunt down the other character.
But you
like,
have to
in the map.
you have to have your thing set to open, right? Like that's just how it is, or does it just open all the time?
If you're online, this can happen.
I hate
Like,
that.
No, it's awesome. It's great. It makes it really intense. But I heard something. I heard some rumors about in Bloodborne where maybe if you invade as like a beast. Like, as you know how everyone's plagued and they're becoming monsters and stuff, where you invade as probably you just look like your character, I'm guessing, but
like
more
beast form.
maybe something, but something that I guess that just makes sense story wise. But yeah, that's always how the PvP has worked. And the gestures, I totally forgot what I was talking about. But the gestures, there is no point really. They're just for fun. Like it's just one of those things. Like somebody joined my game, you just wave at them, or like
well, that's what I
you
saw.
just do goofy things.
But there was a
like,
screen you said for it.
Well, it's a menu.
yeah,
It's
it's
just a
menu.
little menu that pops up with the different ones you could do. And you just
okay.
hit it,
And then your
character
guy, like,
does
does
it.
It's real time though, so it doesn't pause the game.
No,
Right,
you
yeah.
can't. If it's anything like Souls, you can't pause
the game.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no pausing.
No pausing.
Even when the menus are up, there's no pausing.
Okay. Well, because I know Peeve Peeverson did. He finally beat the boss, and then he had his guy like.
Yes. Yeah. There's actually, this is a stupid story, but it made me laugh really hard. I was playing Dark Souls 2. And there's this one area where you spawn by the bonfire, and there's like you're in this tower, and there's this bridge coming out of the tower that's only meant for it's only like 2 people wide.
Yeah.
And I called 2 people into my game.
Was it
to
4
help-
player?
Huh?
It's 4 player.
Well, in Dark Souls 2, you could have up to 2 other people in your game helping you.
So 3.
And then you could get invaded. So there could be up to 4
Okay.
people. I heard in the Dark Souls 2 remaster that's coming out, it's even more. I heard that you could have you could be invaded by like 3 people or something. I don't know, but it's something definitely higher. I don't remember the details on that, but I always just thought this was really funny. This is talking about the gestures. So I called these 2 people in my game. I walk out the door, and the one guy just goes to run past me and just falls right off the edge, like in running animation, just falls right off the
Still
edge.
going, yeah.
So I turn, and there's a gesture where you get on your knee and you go like this. So I turned and I did that on the edge like this, like no, why? And as I'm doing that, the other guy walks past me and bumps me off the edge, like while I'm in that animation. So I fell off like this. And dude, I know the guy sent me a message. He's like, "I am so sorry," and I was just like, "It's okay, I'm dying right now. It's hysterical."
That's funny.
So yeah,
That's funny.
Stupid little things happen with gestures that are just funny. That,
Okay. With the graphics, I was watching it on YouTube, so quality, whatever. Nothing to brag about. It wasn't like, oh, these are awful, but
As long
I
as
know,
they're
I know
they're
graphics don't matter,
They're
but they were
definitely
just
good.
no,
As long as
yeah.
it runs
They're not.
smoothly.
It's not like anything that's blowing my mind, but it's definitely good. I didn't notice anything that was blaringly didn't finish.
No, yeah.
The Souls games have generally always looked good, aside from a couple hiccups here and there. But that's never been a problem.
Yeah, Peeve Peeverson, I wanted to quote him because he did say, it feels like a Souls game through and through with its own mechanics entirely.
I think you're in love with this guy.
Well, no, I was able to, I got the opportunity and I had the time where I can watch his hour and 43-minute Twitch.
Oh, he twitched it?
Yeah, and then then he put it up on YouTube. So I was able to watch it on YouTube in increments.
gotcha.
And It was very good. It was
So,
very, I would highly
what are
recommend
our
going to watch it.
Final verdicts, final opinions on the game, because I was curious about what you were thinking. I already know what James is thinking.
Since
I'm curious
I'm
about
not.
what
I
you were
hate
thinking.
it. I'm gonna buy it and throw it at you because I don't even want to play it anymore.
Cool.
Games are stupid.
I think
Hey, Peeve Peeverson, if you want Eric's number, you can bleep out all of what's here right now. Just make one long bleep, and he can see my mouth moving. Bleep.
you're the worst.
Go.
All right.
I thought I since I've only played a couple hours of the first Souls game and I've never played the second one, I don't really have too much of a knowledge on it, and
Well, from
I'm
what you've seen.
skeptical.
From what you've seen.
I'm still skeptical because I did not like Souls 1 at all. I thought it was clunky as crap. I didn't think the mechanics were good at all. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting until you get it and bring it over.
We'll definitely
play it.
film some gameplay.
Yeah, definitely.
The week that I get it, we'll do that, and then hopefully maybe the week after,
you want to review it?
whenever I actually beat it, we will do a review. Absolutely,
review.
yeah, we'll do a formal review.
Definitely.
But let's not give any promises. But
No,
anticipate.
No. We're
review.
promising it because I'm buying it. Like, there's I don't know. I don't care if you guys are buying it. I'm without a doubt. Like, I have it paid off. It's being bought.
Okay.
So those are my thoughts on the game. I already paid for it. And
And I'm getting it whether it gets a 1 out
I'm
of 10
getting
or
it.
a 10 out
So
of 10.
I'm getting it
Clearly-
because James is throwing it at me.
yeah.
But I feel like I think it looks pretty cool. I haven't played any of the Souls games, but
I think it's going to be fun, but I'm a little skeptic.
Well, like I said, I think
that's
it's
all I'm gonna
more. I
say.
think this is more in your kind of
I like the
vein
faster
of play
pace of
because
it.
it is without a doubt much faster paced.
Yep.
Like I said, it looks like it's going there. This Bloodborne's going more in the action game,
yeah.
as where Souls was more of the action RPG.
Yeah.
Where but we'll see when it comes out.
Okay, cool.
So
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us here, and tune in for our Wednesday episodes
Yes.
that we just started.
Yes.
Our first one last Wednesday was on Dive Kick.
Dive Kick,
Watch
yeah.
that and tell us
Watch
what you
that.
think. And then keep tuned for the weekly episodes on Saturday and
Keep
Wednesday
tuned.
now.
keep tuned.
Keep tuned.
Keep tuned.
Keep tuned. What? We pay for that.
Ripper.